Welcome to this tutorial on developing a form action flow to create SAP notifications automatically when a notification form is completed in the TurboForms app. Prerequisites. Before we begin, make sure you have the following: SAP system access. While this example is developed on a ECC6 system, you can build the equivalent on a similar system. SAP GUI, login access to identify the required data and to verify notification creation. SAP user ID and password with access to the BAPI Explorer. SAP user ID and password to execute the BAPI can be the same as above with the right access. Let's get started. We'll create a flow that triggers when a notification form is completed and automatically creates a corresponding notification in SAP using BAPI. Understanding the flow. Before we develop the flow, there are two steps to accomplish. First, we need to determine the functions in SAP that we need to use, and second, we need to determine the order of the steps. SAP BAPI to use. Creating a notification in SAP is a step-by-step process. 1. Begin a stateful call sequence for calls to the specified destination. 2. Set the input data and call the BAPI_ALM_notif_create. 3. Suppose successful pass the notif_number returned by the call to the BAPI_ALM_notif_save. 4. Commit the data with a call to BAPI_commit_transaction. 5. End the stateful call sequence for calls to the specified destination. This will create a notification on the SAP backend system. Now let us draw a flowchart of the different steps we need to perform to create the notification. Developing the flow. In the Forms list, click on the flow icon in the notification row. A list of flows will be displayed. Now click on the Create button and choose the form action flow. Title. Enter Create SAP Notification. Description. Enter description as Create a Notification on SAP or similar. Select the On Complete option. Click on Save to create the flow. You will now be navigated to the Flow Builder. The Add Node dialog should already be open in the Flow Builder. If not, click on the Form Action Flow node and then the plus icon displayed below it. Search for the SAP node by typing in SAP and clicking on it. The SAP node is now opened and you can configure it. Change the title to Start Session and remember to connect the Form Action Flow node success connector to this node. Else the expression builder will not display all the possible fields and nodes. Since we want to work with an SAP system, we need to create it first. Click on the plus icon next to the SAP Server dropdown. The Add System dialog is displayed. Enter the following data: description, SAP ECC, or anything else you desire. Identifier. This is a unique identifier for the system. Type. Based on your setup, choose a custom or group server. We will be choosing a custom application server. Server. Enter the host name or IP address. System name. Enter the 3-letter SAP system name. System number. Enter the system number. Client. Enter the client to log on to, typically 100. Logon language. Enter the logon language. BAPI user and password. Enter the username and password with access to the BAPI Explorer so we can browse for functions, structures, etc. User and password. Enter the username and password to execute the SAP functions, which can be the same as above. Save the system. Now, choose the newly added SAP system in the Server dropdown. Set the RFC operation to begin session and save the node. Select the Start Session node, click on plus, and select SAP to add another node. Change the title to BAPI Create Notif, and remember to connect the Start Session node success connector to this node. Select the SAP system and set the RFC operation to execute. In the function, you can type in BAPI_ALM_notif_create or click on the spanner icon to open the BAPI browser, enter search criteria, and select the function from the list. Leave the mapping as default. Click the spanner icon in the Function Parameters box and open the SAP table or structure mapper. From the RFC input, select notif header and notif_type. From RFC output, select notifheader_export and return and click on Save. Now, in the list shown, click notif_type and in the drop-down, under Form field, choose Notify Type and Save. Visually, a colored button indicates that the mapping is complete. Now, click on notifheader and map the following fields: Equipment, Form field, Equipment ID; Function_LOC, Form field, Functional Location ID; Short_text, Form field, Short text; Priority, Custom input, to or as per your system. Add any other fields as required in your system. You can also set static values or add form fields and select. Click on Save. Before we can proceed, we need to know the data output format. Connect the BAPI. Create Notif node to success, save, and publish it. Run the flow, correcting any errors if required. Copy the output of the BAPI. Create Notif node from the trace dialog, which is displayed in JSON format. We will use this next. This trick of running intermediate flows ensures we test the development until then, and more importantly, get access to intermediate results for further processing. Now select the BAPI Create Notif node, click on plus, and select JSON Parser to add the JSON Parser node. The JSON Parser node is now opened and you can configure it. Change the title to Extract Notif Number and remember to connect the BAPI Create Notif node success connector to this node. Since we want to work with the previous step results, click on the previous step section. For map field name, select BAPI Create Notif Result. Under Expression, click on the spanner icon to open the expression builder. Now paste the data we copied in the step above. We now need to extract the notif_number. Use the following expression. Paste the expression into the mapping expression window on the right. The extracted data is now displayed at the bottom. Confirm that what is displayed is correct. Now click on Save and close the builder. Now click on the Save icon and save the node. Select the Extract Notif Number node, click on plus, and select SAP to add another node. Change the title to BAPI Save Notify, and remember to connect the Extract Notif Number node success connector to this node. Select the SAP system and set the RFC operation to execute. In Function, you can type in BAPI_ALM_notif_save or click on the spanner icon to open the BAPI browser, enter search criteria, and select the function from the list. Now, click on the spanner icon in the Function Parameters box and open the SAP table or structure mapper. From the RFC input, select Number. From RFC output, select notifheader and return, and click on Save. Now in the list shown, click on Number, and in the drop-down select Extract Notif Number Result and click on Save. We are almost there. There are just a couple of steps to go. Now, select the BAPI Save Notify node, click on plus, and select SAP to add another node. Change the title to BAPI Commit, and remember to connect the BAPI Save Notify node success connector to this node. Select the SAP system and set the RFC operation to execute. In the function, you can type BAPI_transaction_commit. Now click on the spanner icon in the Function Parameters box and open the SAP table, Structure Mapper. From the RFC input, select Wait. From RFC output, select Return and click on Save. Now, in the list shown, click on Wait, and in the drop-down, select Custom Input, set the value to X, and click on Save. Now select the BAPI Commit node, click on plus, and select SAP to add another node. Change the title to End Session, and remember to connect the BAPI Commit Node Success Connector to this node. Select the SAP system, set the RFC operation to End Session, and save. Finally, connect the End Session node to Success. Now, click on the Publish button to save and compile the flow. If the compilation is successful, it will also be published, and we can run it to test. Testing the flow. We are ready to test the flow now that we have published it. The Flow Builder has an integrated run and debug tool to help us troubleshoot the flow in case of errors. Now click on the Run Flow button. The Run dialog is now displayed. Click on the Form Data button to make sure the values for the different fields are correct based on your system setup. Run the flow by clicking on the Run button. The flow should run successfully. If there are errors, it could be due to mistakes in entering test data. configuring the system, copying, pasting the expression, or similar. Check each step carefully with the documentation. Now, click on the output of the BAPI Save Notif node for notif_number in the output. If successful, you can see the newly created notification number here. Copy it. Open and log in to SAP GUI. Enter transaction IW23 and the notification number. You should be able to view the details now. And there you have it. You've successfully developed a form action flow to automatically create SAP notifications when a notification form is completed in the Turbo Forms app. This automation eliminates manual data entry, ensures accuracy, and streamlines your workflow. Thanks for watching.